Okay. Okay. Well, welcome everybody. Happy Sunday. This is so fun. I've not had this many people in the studio yet, so this is really fun. It feels good. So we've got a nice group of people online. We've got a nice group of people in the studio. So thank you everyone for sharing your Sunday with us here today. I think the weather is going to be decent today, so it'll be a good way to start the day and get going. So for those of you that don't know me, I think we have a new student online. I'm Susan, and this is Level 1 Yoga. So I do my best to give options to amp it up a little bit or take it down a little bit. As always, do what you can do kind of class. If you have been doing yoga for a long time, you know how to amp it up, but I'll still try to give some options. This is going to be a little bit of a heavy shoulder class today. So if that is not working well for you, please always feel free, come down from your down dog into tabletop or come down into a child's pose. No problem. Come down at any time you need to, off the shoulders a little bit. And it's not going to be like crazy shoulder, but it's gonna be a little bit more than what we usually do. So just, listen to your body is really the moral of the story, as it always is. I think I said before everyone was online, it's not a specific prop class today, but if you need to have a block handy for triangles, for standing splits, for runner's lunge, anything like that to bring the earth a little bit closer to you, feel free to grab blocks at home, cans of food, anything like that. And I think that we're ready to get started. So the last couple of weeks I've been reading stories from the myths of asanas. I'm not going to do it today, although the one that I really wanted to read, the moral of the story is mantras. We don't have time to read the whole story because it's quite lengthy, but I did want to talk about mantras. So I have the Yoga Mind, which is my abridged little book of reference here. So find a nice, easy seat, crisscross applesauce, or sitting with one heel in front of the other, whatever is most comfortable for you. If you need to sit up a little bit to get your hips higher than your knees, you're always welcome to sit on a blanket or something. So breathe all the way up through your spine, all the way to the very tippy top of your head. Take your shoulder blades down on your back. So mantras are repetitive sounds. A mantra is a sound, a vibration, or a word repeated to focus one's mind on one point so as to connect to something higher. Mantras were originally meant to be chanted in Sanskrit, making them more powerful because of their vibrational connection to the divine. Mantras make the mind calm, with the intellect focused on one phrase. As affirmations, they serve to reprogram ourselves. Imagine saying, "I love myself" daily. What a day. Mantras carry a lot of weight because words have power and we give meaning to those words. Mantras were designed to be pronounced in certain ways where your divine bodily strings are hit to ignite the meaning of a mantra within you. That's their true power. Another purpose of mantras is an affirmation when we need to be, quote unquote, brainwashed away from the negative thoughts we carry daily. So, in the sort of westernized, modernized use of mantras, we kind of sometimes use them as these like go get 'em phrases. And that's fine because they still serve that purpose. For me, one thing, like when I'm running a lot, when I was training for half marathon, my mantra that I took on then and that I still say all the time is, if it were easy, everyone would do it. And I just repeat that to myself when things feel really hard, but I've always used that in, say, a physical sense, like when I need to push myself another half mile, or I needed to, hold my warrior just a little bit longer or something like that. I tell myself, if it were easy, everyone would do that. Everyone would do this. But it's not, and so everyone doesn't, right? And for me, that was kind of my go get 'em. It's not really a mantra as much, though, as what we're talking about here. I've personally evolved that a little bit, and as I've found a little bit more peace and patience and strength through yoga, I've evolved what I tell myself all the time, and I repeat a lot of times, like, have patience and be kind. Have patience and be kind. And it's not because I'm not necessarily a patient or kind person, but you do have to remind yourself, at those times when you're not feeling patient and we don't want to be kind, because there are all kinds of crazy things happening around us all the time. And it's not easy. It's not easy to treat people the way we want to be treated versus the way we are treated. And so a mantra in that sense is more of that affirmation where you're just continually repeating something to yourself to bring that sense of peace and tranquility. The way they're meant to be is something even a little bit deeper than that. Again, they were meant to be originally in Sanskrit, the way they're practiced here. And some of the most common ones, there's Om Shanti, which means peace. So that's something when you're just meditating, When it's more about that vibrational, the sound, and you close your eyes, maybe use mala beads or something, it's Om Shanti, and that just means peace, and it's a reminder. Another common one in Sanskrit is Om Namah Shivaya, which means I bow to the divine self within me. And so you'll hear that sometimes with chants in some yoga classes where they say Om Namah Shivaya. So in English translation, that often we should be saying to ourselves is, I love myself. I love myself. And this is something that a lot of times in kids yoga classes, we have them say over and over again. And how nice that is to think about that idea of these kids growing up feeling like that's okay to say, I love myself, versus us sitting here as an adult trying to convince each other to look in the mirror and say, I love myself, right? So let's just take a moment here in your seat. Close your eyes if they're not already. Continue to sit up really nice and tall. And maybe find a mantra that you can repeat to yourself, whether it's a Sanskrit, whether it's a simple, I love myself, or something that means something to you, something that you need to remind yourself of. To bring awareness back through your breath, holding that mantra into your heart, and try to keep it with you throughout class today. Remind yourself, whatever that is, whether it's seeking peace, love, kindness, patience with yourself, with others around you, hold on to that today. All right. If your eyes are closed, gently flutter them open. Bring your hands to your heart center. Let's all take a nice big deep breath in. And exhale, let it all out. This time, inhale, reach your arms all the way up. Nice big stretch, spread those fingers nice and wide. And then exhale your hands down to your heart center. Again, inhale it up. Exhale, hands down to your heart center. One more time. And take it down. All right, this time let's inhale, reach your arms all the way up, and then grab opposite hands to opposite elbows. Try to get your triceps in line with your ears here, and then pull on those elbows and feel that widening there. And keep on stretching. I'm going to turn some music on here. I didn't send the playlist in time to Sandy. I apologize. All right. So keep on giving those elbows a tug. Keep your head up nice and tall. Take a breath in, and exhale. Just lean slightly to your right. Make sure you're pressing down through the left sit bone if it popped up just a little bit. And then bring it back up to center and take it on over to the other side. All the way back up to center, and then release the elbows, reach your hands up and hands down to your heart center. All right, we're gonna do a couple of wrist stretches here. So keeping your hands at heart center, open your palms out in front, and then we roll the fingertips down, back of the hands together, and back through to heart center. If you've not done it before, it feels a little awkward and it takes a couple tries to get it. So again, we start off with the palms facing out, roll the backs of the hands together, fingertips down, and then around back. All right, so looks like everyone in here has it. It's hard to see online. Now we're gonna reverse it the other way. So if you're having trouble with that, this one will really mess with your head. So take the palms to face your face, and then roll the hands down, back of the hands together and away. So it's just a nice little wrist stretch to get us started here. All right, bring the hands back to heart center. Take another nice deep breath in. Let it all out. And let's swing around into a child's pose and get things started here today. So big toes together to touch, knees spread nice and wide, and go ahead and sink those hips back down towards your heels, crawling your fingertips up towards the top of the mat, and take your forehead down to the mat. And go ahead and just sink in here a little bit. Again, we're going to be doing lots of shoulder work today, so feel free to come into this child's pose at any time during class that feels good for you. Go ahead and take a breath in, and on your exhale, walk your hands over to the right side of the mat. And then on your next inhale, bring them back to the center and take them over to the opposite side. I'm going to preemptively turn the fans on. And then go ahead and bring them back through the center. And then let's press ourselves up into a tabletop position. Always like to start off with a couple rounds of cat-cow. So first get the shoulders in line over the wrists, hips over the knees. Wow, that took me way too long to think of that body part. All right, so starting with the tailbone, let's take the tailbone up and away, belly button down towards the earth. Get that nice curve as you start to look up and pull the shoulder blades onto your back. And then again, starting with the tailbone on your exhale, tuck that tailbone in, one vertebrae at a time, start to round it up towards the sky, belly button to your spine as you look towards your thighs. Let's reverse that again. Inhale, taking that nice slow curve as you look up. And then exhale, taking it in the opposite direction. One more time, inhaling through a cow. And exhaling up into a cat. And neutral tabletop position here. All right, let's reach your right hand out in front of you and your left leg out behind you. So we're looking for a nice straight line here. Turn your left toes to face the mat and press your heel towards the wall behind you and reach through the right fingertips, okay? Looking for a nice straight line here.
Opposite hand, opposite leg.
Keep on reaching. And then go ahead and take the left toes down to the mat behind you. And then reach your right hand up for a nice twist. All right, breathe into this, lots of length. And then on your next exhale, take that right hand, and take it underneath the left elbow, bringing that shoulder all the way down to the mat for a nice big twist. Thread the needle here. You can make this a lot of different ways. You can stay right here. If you want to add some balance into it, press through the top of your right hand, and you can reach that left hand up towards the sky. And if you really want to challenge yourself with balance, you can always try to lift those left toes up. Again, really thinking through the core and pressing through the top of your grounded hand. All right, if you've added some balance, go ahead and take the foot down, take the hand down, and then we're going to press the earth away with your left hand and reach your right arm up to the sky, getting that twist again. And then bring the right hand down and pull the knee back into your tabletop position. All right, doing the opposite side now. Let's reach your left hand out, your right leg back. So opposite hand, opposite leg. And again, we want to turn the toes. We're looking for a nice straight line, so try not to have your leg up really high. Nice straight line here if you can. Draw in through the abs, keep reaching through the fingers, and then simply drop those right toes down behind you. We're going to inhale, reach that left hand all the way up, and on your exhale, thread it through, taking the top of that hand all the way down to the mat, take your temple or your cheek down to the mat. And again, either stay here, just enjoying the shoulder stretch, or really press through the top of that left hand, maybe reach your right hand up, maybe even take your right toes up. Find a level that works for you. If you've added the balance in, take the toes down, take the hand down, press through the right hand and reach up for that nice big twist again with the left hand. And then pull it all back in to a tabletop position. And then let's just pull those knees back a couple inches and we're gonna come up into our first downward facing dog. So curl the toes, send the hips up towards the sky. And start to come into your first downward facing dog. Make whatever movements you need here. Walk the dog out, bending one knee, straightening the other. All right, on your inhale, think about puffing up that area between your shoulder blades. So inhale all the way up into that space, right in between your two shoulder blades. And then as you exhale, keep that space right where it is. Just simply press your chest back towards your thighs a little bit more. So we're looking for the weight in our finger joints, not on our wrists. All right, and then shift your weight forward into a plank pose. If you need to wiggle those toes back a little bit, wiggle them back as much as you need to for a nice, strong, steady plank. All right, and this is where your hands and feet should probably be in a downward facing dog. So let's press back up, downward facing dog. If this is super uncomfortable, go ahead and walk your toes back in a little bit closer together. But if this is okay, try to keep your down dog with this nice wide stance. Let's do it again. Shift your weight forward into a plank pose. Draw your belly button up, press your heels towards the back of your mat, and then press your hips back up, downward facing dog. All right, take a look towards your hands, bend your knees, and slowly make your way up towards the top of your mat into a forward fold. Bend your knees as much as you need to here to have your hands connected to the earth. All right, we're gonna come up halfway lift, hands to your shins, crown of the head towards the top of the mat, tailbone towards the back of the mat, and then exhale, fold it back down. Let's do it 2 more times. Inhale, halfway lift, Ardha Uttanasana. And exhale, Uttanasana. 1 more time, halfway lift. And release it down. Inhale, let's reach all the way up. Keep your hands extended, reach for the sky. Pull the shoulder blades down your back as you keep reaching up through the fingertips. Squeeze your hands towards one another as if you're holding a block. Keep that squeeze, take a breath in, exhale, take the block over to the right. Keep squeezing it together. Bring it back up to center. Exhale it over to the other side. Inhale it up to center. On your exhale, take your right hand behind you, left hand forward for a big twist. Try to keep your hips square to the top of the mat and just reach with the arms. Inhale it back up. Exhale, take it the other way. Inhale it up. And exhale, hands down to your heart center. All right, let's work on a couple sun A's here. So inhale, reach it up. And exhale, fold it all the way down. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, plant the hands, step back, find a plank pose. Hold this plank again. Press up through the quads and back through the heels. Pull the shoulder blades onto your back and belly button up towards the spine. And then either stay like this or take your knees down. We're gonna do Chaturanga Dandasana. Bend your elbows towards your ribs all the way down. Flip the toes, press the toenails into the mat. Inhale, cobra pose, pressing up. And exhale, release it down. Curl the toes back under, press up either through tabletop or through reverse plank into your downward facing dog. Couple more rounds of breath here. Sink into your down dog. Bend your knees and look forward. Then exhale, come to the top of your mat into that forward fold. Inhale it up, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, let's reach all the way up. Keep the arms extended again. Squeeze that imaginary block. Take another breath in. Exhale, take it to the right. Inhale it up. Exhale it to the other side. Inhale it up. Again, let's take that twist. Exhale, right hand behind you, left hand forward. Inhale it up. Exhale the other way. Inhale it up. And hands down to your heart center. All right, so we'll do one more sun A here and we'll add a shoulder stretch on the floor. So stay with me after your cobra here. All right, when you're ready, inhale it up. Exhale, forward fold, Uttanasana. Inhale, Ardha Uttanasana. Exhale, plant the hands, find a plank pose. Hold the plank. Keep the shoulders on the back, reach the crown of your head forward, get lots of length from the crown of the head to the heels. And then slowly bend the elbows back, Chaturanga Dandasana, and come all the way down to your stomachs. Okay, let's come into that cobra first. So go ahead and tuck or curl those toes back. Inhale, press up. And then exhale, come back down and stay on your belly. Leave your left hand right where it is. Take your right arm all the way out to the right. Use your left hand to press yourself over onto your right shoulder, stacking your left hip on top of your right. Take your head down to the mat. And if you want to deepen this more, you can always take that top leg, reach it behind you, and really dig into that shoulder. So take this to whatever level works for you. All right, roll it back through the center. And then let's pull your right hand back into that cobra position and take your left arm out long. And then press away with the right hand, rolling over onto the left shoulder and the left hip. And again, deepen this to whatever level works on this side. I usually say this early in the day, it probably depends on which side you slept on last night. All right, roll it on back to your stomach. Pull that left hand back into Cobra, and let's do a Cobra. So press your toenails down, pull your abs up, press your hands into the mat, pull your heart forward for Cobra pose. And then exhale, release it down, curl those toes and find your downward facing dog. All right, bend your knees and look forward, and exhale, come to the top of your mat, forward fold. Inhale it up, halfway lift. Exhale, fold to the mat. Inhale, let's come all the way up. And hands down to your heart center. All right. We're gonna do what I like to call an extended sun A here a little bit. So a lot of the same movements, we're just gonna kind of draw it out a little bit differently. So find your nice strong steady Tadasana, press through all four corners of your feet. Take the abs up and in, shoulders down your back. Inhale, reach your arms up. And then exhale, fold down to the mat. Inhale it up, halfway lift. Exhale, plant your hands, step your left foot back. So we're gonna first start off in a runner's lunge here. So this is where if you need the blocks to bring the earth up a little closer to you, feel free to grab them. And again, we're gonna press up through that left quad and press down through the left heel. Plant your left hand and reach your right arm up to the sky. Trying to keep your right knee in line right over your ankle. All right, go ahead and take that hand back down to the mat. And now we're gonna step the right foot back into a plank pose. All right, you are welcome to hold this plank for a moment. If you would like to add a push-up, take yourself halfway down through Chaturanga and then press yourself back up. So mean. And then go ahead all the way down to your stomachs. Curl those toes under, press your toenails into the mat. Inhale up, Cobra pose. And exhale, release it down, press up, downward facing dog. All right, bring your right foot up, stretch it out nice and long through the heel. And then we're gonna shift our weight into a plank pose and pull that right knee into your right elbow. And then pull that right knee into the center. And then place that foot down and make its way in between your thumbs. So there we are again, runner's lunge. Again, really lift up through that left quad, press down to the left hand, and let's reach your right arm back up to the sky. Take the right hand down, frame the foot. Option one is a step forward into a forward fold. Option two is to press down to the right foot and lift your left toes, hanging out in a standing split before that forward fold. If you've taken the standing split option, go ahead and release that left foot down, and we'll all meet in that forward fold. Inhale it up, halfway lift. Exhale, plant your hands, step your right foot back, runner's lunge on the other side. Take a moment here. When I did this, I pulled my shoulders up towards my ears, so I'm gonna consciously take those shoulders away from my ears. All right, plant your right hand, reach your left arm up to the sky. Go ahead and take that hand back down and step the left foot back, finding a plank pose. Now again, hold this plank as long as you can, or if you want to add a push up in, bend your elbows back, lower down halfway, press yourself back up, and then come all the way down to your stomach. Go ahead and inhale up, Cobra pose. And then exhale, find that downward facing dog. All right, keep pressing through those finger joints, taking the pressure off your wrist. Reach your left foot up into the air, straight back behind you. And then we're gonna bend that knee and take that left knee, tap the left elbow into a plank pose. Try to pull that knee into the midline and then find your foot on the mat in between your thumbs for your runner's lunge, however you need to get it there. Once you're there, go ahead and plant that right hand and reach your left arm back up to the sky. And then go ahead and plant your hands. Again, option here is to step that right foot forward into a forward fold or press down through the left foot and lift the right toes up, finding a brief standing split. And release the toes down, forward fold. Inhale it up, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. And inhale, reach it for the sky. And hands down to your heart center. Grab a sip of water. I think we're warmed up. It is warm in here, right? Super warm. I think we actually have the heat on in here, but you know, COVID, I'm not going to come over there, so we'll be fine. We'll be fine. All right, so the clock is, it's on cool. All right, I think we're fine. It is 75 in here though. Yeah, details. Amy's got it under control. All right, so we did a extended sun A. We're gonna add some sun C's in here now, okay? So go ahead and find your nice strong steady Tadasana at the top of your mat. Pull those abs up and in and shoulders down your back. Take the tailbone towards the earth and the crown of the head up towards the sky. Inhale, reach your arms up. And exhale, fold it all the way down. Inhale. Yeah, that's totally fine. Halfway lift. No. And take it down to the ground. Step your left foot back again. Wiggle your toes back as far as you can, and then take that left knee down to the earth. All right, and let's come up, bring your hands to your knee. All right, squeeze the right heel towards the left knee here. Get a really tight squeeze in there, scissor those legs together. Bring your hands down towards the mat. Keep all that engagement in your lower half. Bring your arms up halfway. Slowly flip the palms, pull those shoulder blades onto your back. Keep them right there as you inhale, reach up. Take your right hand, grab your left wrist, pull it up towards the sky, and then over towards your right side. The trick here is keeping the knee over your ankle. Keep the right hip driving down, left hip driving up. Bring it back to center. Switch it out, grabbing now for the right wrist, pulling it up and pulling it over. And bring it back to center. Release the hands up to the sky, sorry. And then now frame your foot. And then we're gonna raise that back knee and step back into a plank pose. In sun C's, we do the 8 angle here instead of a regular chaturanga. Take your knees down and we bend our elbows back and take your chest and your chin down to the mat. So our hips are extended up towards the sky and your knees, chest, and chin are on the mat. And then you slide your body forward, curl your toes back and press up cobra. And then downward facing dog. All right, bring your left toes up and then step your left foot forward into the runner's lunge with your left foot forward. Wiggle your right toes back as much as you can and then drop your right knee down. And again, let's come up, hands to the knee. Scissor those legs together. Get all that engagement here. Fingertips down towards the earth. Bring your arms up halfway. Slowly flip your palms, engage the shoulders and reach it up. And again, right hand grabs that left wrist, pull it up towards the sky, and then take it over to the right. Bring it back to center, release the wrist, switch it out, pulling it up and over to the opposite side. Inhale, release. Go ahead and frame the foot, raise the back leg, and then we're gonna either step forward into that forward fold or again, add that standing split, raising the right leg up. And then meet in forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, come all the way up. And hands down to your heart center. We have to do the other side. Inhale, reach it up. Exhale, fold it down. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, plant the hands, step the right foot back. Wiggle the toes back. Take the right toe down, or I'm sorry, knee down. And then come on up, fingertips pointing down this time. Get that squeeze in. Again, let's bring the arms up halfway. Slowly flip the palms, engage the shoulders, leave them there as you reach up. This time, turn your palms to face towards me. Grab an imaginary bar and slowly pull that bar down. Resist it though. Lots of tension here. And then pull that bar back up, nice and slow, tons of tension. Don't lose the engagement in the other half, pull the bar down. I'm giving myself so much resistance, I'm actually shaking. Bring it up. One more time. and up. And release that bar, reach the hands up, and then frame the foot, raise the back knee, step back, plank pose. We do that knees, chest, chin again, so take the knees down, chaturanga the arms, taking the chest and the chin down to the mat, and then slide forward, curl the toes, and find a cobra pose. And then exhale, downward facing dog. All right, bring the right toes up, and then send the right foot forward, plant it in between the hands, wiggle the back toes back, place the left knee down, and then bring the chest up, fingertips down. Really press through that right foot. Get all that squeeze in your lower half. Hands up halfway. Slowly engage the shoulders and reach it up. Once again, palms face forward, grab that bar, give yourself some tension and pull it down nice and slow. Inhale it up. Exhale, pull it down. And up. One more time. And up. And release. Go ahead and frame that foot. Raise the back knee. Either step into that forward fold or add a standing split halfway through. And we'll all meet in that forward fold at the top of the mat. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, all the way up. And hands down to your heart center. All right. Okay, let's see here. Finding your Tadasana again. Let's take your hands behind your back, clasp your hands, and simply straighten the elbows away. So we're rolling the shoulder blades onto the back, reaching the knuckles towards the earth. Pull up through the abs, draw the belly button in towards the spine. Crown of the head up, so take the chin back a little bit. Keep reaching the knuckles down. And then release the grasp. Shake it out a little bit. And inhale, reach it up. And exhale, fold it down. All right, plant the hands, bend the knees as much as you need to have the hands planted. And then we're gonna really press down through the left hand, bend your left knee, take your right hand to your hip, twist your torso to the right, and then reach your right hand up. So you should have a straight right leg and a bent left. Well, as straight as your right leg can be to have your left hand planted. And then go ahead and release the right hand down. And we'll switch it out. So that nice big bend in your right knee, take your left hand to your hip, turn your torso, and then reach the left hand up. And then go ahead and release it down. Inhale it up, halfway lift. Plant your hands, step back, either downward facing dog or take a plank if you want to take a vinyasa here. We will all meet in downward facing dog. So if you're taking a vinyasa, chaturanga dandasana, inhaling into your back bend, and exhaling, we'll meet everybody in downward facing dog. All right, bring the right toes up. Bring the right knee in towards the center and then plant the foot down in between the thumbs. We're gonna find a high lunge here. So you might need a little bit of width with your feet here from side to side, and then either crawl your hands up your thigh or press through your right foot and reach it up. All right, find a really nice strong. So I'm actually gonna take my left foot out to the left a little bit for a little bit of stability there. Really press up through the left leg and down through the left heel. Sink the hips down a little bit lower. Take your hands behind your back, clasp your hands, inhale, straighten your elbows away. So we're pulling those shoulders onto our back, knuckles and tailbone towards the earth. Good, all right, release the bind, reach our hands up. We're gonna do a slow low down, so very slowly bend through your left knee, hovering it right over the mat if you can, and then slowly release it all the way down and say ah. All right, so take a breath in here. On your exhale, take your right hand behind you, left hand forward for an open arm twist. You're welcome to stay here. If you want to take it into a prayer twist, reach forward with your left hand, bend your left elbow, take it to the outside of the knee, and then bring the right hand on top for a prayer twist. So two options here. If you're in prayer, try to turn your torso to the right as much as you can to stack shoulder over shoulder, elbow over elbow. All right, wherever you are, release the twist, reach it up, frame the foot, and raise your back knee. All right, option 1 is to stay right here in a runner's lunge. Option 2 is to take it to a standing split, runner's lunge, standing split, runner's lunge. All right, so if you're with me, press through the right foot, lift your left toes up. And then bend through the right knee, take the left toes back down behind you. One more time, press through the right foot, lift to the left, bend the knee, take it back, runner's lunge. All right, plant your hands, step back, downward facing dog. However you need to get there. Make whatever movements feel good here, press through the finger joints. All right, this time take the left toes up, and then bring the left knee in towards the midline. Find the earth in between your thumbs. Knowing we're coming into a high lunge, get your foundation here as wide as you need it to. Press through the left foot and either crawl your hands up or sweep them up. High lunge. Okay, nice strong steady foundation here. Pressing up through the thigh, down through the heel. Take your hands behind your sacrum, opposite thumb on top, funky grip. Inhale, straighten away. Don't take your head back, take your chin back. Good, release the bind, reach it up. We're gonna take that slow low down to take a breath in. Exhale, slowly bend through the right knee, hovering it as long as you can right over the mat. And then releasing it down. All right, what did we do here? Oh yeah, the twist. All right, inhale, reach it up. Exhale, right hand forward, left hand back, open arm twist. Again, stay here or reach the fingertips towards the top of the mat, bend the elbow, place it behind the knee, and swing that back arm on top for a prayer twist. And then slowly release the twist, reach the arms up, and go ahead and frame that foot and raise the back knee. Again, either holding this runner's lunge, really sinking in, or if you want to add 2 standing splits, press down through the left foot, lift the right toes up. Bend through the left leg, place the right toes down, nice and slow and steady. Again, lifting them up, and slow and steady, taking them back down behind you. And then go ahead and plant those hands down and step back, downward facing dog. Couple rounds of breath here. If you need a break on the shoulders, come down to your knees. If you want to add more, shift forward into a plank, take a vinyasa. We're going to do 3 rounds of breath here in downward facing dog. All right, bend your knees and look forward, and exhale, come to the top of your mat, forward fold. Inhale it up, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. And inhale, all the way up. And hands down to your heart center. Grab a sip of water if you need it. Ooh, glad you turned the air off. It's a little toasty in here. I didn't even drink last night. All right, oh good. We got lots of time to have more fun. We haven't even done a warrior yet, and we're like more than halfway through class. All right, let's add some balance in. So first you have to feel steady on 2 feet before we feel steady on 1. So take your feet hip distance apart, toes in line with your knees, heels in line. Again, really press through all 4 corners of your feet. When we balance, if you start to shift to one side, don't overcompensate by pressing onto the other side of your foot. Always think about pressing straight down into the mat and lifting up through the abs, okay? Think about a nice straight line. Start to shift the weight to your right foot, come onto your left toes, and draw your left knee up, finding that balance. Okay, we're gonna very slowly step it back into a high lunge. So start to shift your weight forward and press the left leg behind you, bending through the right knee, trusting that the mat is there behind you. Make whatever adjustments you need to your foundation here. And when you're ready, reach your arms up. All right, come up onto your tippy toes of your right foot, lifting the heel up off the mat. And then take it back down. Up on those tippy toes and back down. One more time, lift the right heel and take it down. Good. Spin your back foot flat, and open up into your first warrior two. So our right knee is in line right over our ankle. Right arch is bisecting, or I'm sorry, right heel is bisecting the left arch. Okay. We're aiming for both hips square to the long side of our mat. All right, keeping that knee in line right over your ankle, flip your right palm and reverse your warrior, pressing it up towards the sky and then towards the back of your mat. And then bring it back through warrior two. Inhale, straighten your front leg and then turn your right toes to meet your left. So you're in a wide-legged fold facing the, or I'm sorry, wide-legged stance facing the long side of your mat. Keep reaching for both sides of the mat, crown of the head nice and tall, and then on your exhale, from the hips, start to hinge forward, and then bring the hands down to the mat. I'm so glad mine weren't the only hips that just popped there. I think it was like musical hips all the way down the line. All right, in this nice, beautiful wide-legged forward fold, really think about taking your hips up towards the sky. And you should really feel that engagement in your hands there. Keeping the hips like that, inhale, come up halfway, come up onto your fingertips, get lots of length here. And then exhale, fold it down, maybe crawl the hands back just a little bit further. And try to take the crown of your head down towards the mat. If you need blocks here, use blocks. All right, we're gonna add a little bit of hip stretch in here. So put a bend in your right knee and walk both hands over towards your right foot. And then walk the hands back to the center. And we'll take it to the other side, bending through the left knee, walking towards the left foot. And then back to center. All right, we can do that again. If you want to deepen it, we can go into full Skandasana. So maybe turn those right toes at a 45-degree angle, walk the hands over towards the right foot, bend through the right knee, either stay here or take the lunge all the way down, maybe flipping up onto your left heel, toes pointing up towards the sky, maybe bringing your hands to heart center. Again, this is all, just listen to your body, take it to whatever level works for you. And then go ahead and take the hands down, and then we straighten back up into the center. Okay, so this time turn your toes, your left toes, at that 45-degree angle, bend through your left knee, and walk your hands over towards the left foot. Take it as deep as what works for you. If you can get really deep into it, maybe come up onto your right heel, taking the toes up towards the sky, maybe bringing your hands to your heart center. Beautiful. And then go ahead and take the hands down if they've lifted and come back into that wide-legged fold. Bring your hands to your hips, elbows pointing towards the sky, press through your feet, inhale, come all the way up. All right, let's turn those toes, all 10 toes at a 45-degree angle, out and away. Then reach your arms up at an angle for 5-pointed star. All right, make this really active. So think about your 5 points. Reach through the fingers, press through the feet, reach up through the crown of the head, point down through the tailbone. This is a really active pose. Keeping all that activity, slowly start to bend your knees and cactus your arms and sink down into a goddess pose. Think about taking the tailbone straight to the earth. So we don't want that big curve out and we don't want it tucked in. We want it straight down. And then inhale back up, 5-pointed star. That was so much fun. Let's do it 2 more times. Exhale, goddess pose. Inhale, 5-pointed star. 1 more to go. Goddess pose. 5-pointed star. And then go ahead, bring your hands to heart center and either toe heel your feet together or hop it in and come back to the top of your mat. Catch a breath. We've got another side to do. Find that foundation on both feet. Shift the weight to your left, come onto the right toes and draw that right knee up into your chest. Think of a nice straight line. Slowly start to hinge your weight forward and take the right foot back as slow as you can go, finding the mat behind you. Adjust your foundation as much as you need to. Inhale, reach it up. All right, we're gonna do the little toe balance again. Come onto your left tippy toes, raising your left heel. Take the heel back down. Again, coming into the left tippy toes, heel back down. 1 more time, and take it down. Spin your back foot flat, warrior 2 on the other side. So take a moment, have your left toes pointing forward, left heel bisecting your right arch. Knee is in line. I'm sorry, yeah, knee is in line right over the ankle. Good. All right, squeeze that left butt cheek towards your right heel. Flip your left palm and reverse your warrior. And bring it back through warrior two. Straighten through that left leg, turn your toes to meet your right for wide-legged stance on the other side. This time, take your hands behind your back, find a clasp. Inhale, straighten away. All right, you are welcome to fold down this way, or if you would like to release the clasp for the fold, whatever works for you. If you're gonna keep the clasp, inhale, straighten all the way through the crown of the head. Exhale, hinge from the hips. If you've taken the clasp, fold, try to take the knuckles up towards the sky. And go ahead and release that clasp and take your hands down to the mat. All right, inhale, come up halfway, lift. And exhale, fold it back down. We're into the Skandasana preps again. So let's just put a bend in our right knee, walk our hands over to the right foot, get a nice long stretch in that left leg. And then walk the hands back through the center and walk them over to the left foot, bending through the left knee. And then bringing it back to center. All right, if you want to do that again, that is option one. Option two is full Skandasana. Turn the right toes at a right 45-degree angle. Walk the hands over towards the right foot, bend through the right knee. If you would like to spin the left toes up towards the sky, balancing on the heel, maybe bringing your hands to heart center, whatever level of this pose works for you. If you're in full Skandasana, bring your hands back down to the mat, straighten through. This time we turn our left toes at a 45-degree angle and walk our hands all the way over to the left, putting a deep bend in the knee, and then finding the version of this pose that works for you. And then go ahead and walk it back through the center. Take a breath here. Hands come to the hips, elbows to the sky. Press to the outside edges of your feet as you inhale, bring it back up. All right, bring your feet or toes at a 45-degree angle again. And let's reach back up into that 5-pointed star. Lots of active stretching here. Take a deep breath in. Exhale, bend your elbows, bend your knees, sink down into that goddess pose. No big curve here. Take the tailbone straight down. Good adjustments. Inhale, reach it up. Exhale, press it down. Inhale it up. One more time. Good. Bring it up, 5-pointed star. Hands to your heart center, and then toe heel or hop it together. Grab a sip of water if you need it. If you haven't caught on, it's a little warm in this room. This is that point in class where I'm like, I have so many things planned and we're not going to get to them all. Okay. But what's a class without chair pose? Not a class. That's the answer. So either feet hip distance apart, or if it's comfortable for you, closer together to touch or to almost touch. Your choice. Find that nice, strong, steady stance. Take your fingertips down towards the earth. Bend your knees. Send your hips back, fingertips up. Chair pose. Engage through the thighs. Draw up through the abs. Tailbone down. Maybe pull the elbows a little closer to your ears. And forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, plant the hands, step back, either plank or downward facing dog. Your choice will meet in downward facing dog. If you're in plank, go ahead and bend those elbows. Chaturanga Dandasana. Inhale, finding your back bend, cobra or up dog. And exhale, meeting everybody in that downward facing dog. And then release your knees down to the earth for a tabletop. Okay, so a couple of wrist stretches here. So the first ones, we're going to turn both of our hands so our fingertips are pointing towards our knees or as close as you can. If you can't get them all the way back to the sides, whatever works. We're on the palms, fingertips towards us. If this is enough, stay here. If you want to deepen it, we sink the hips back just a little bit. And then bring it back up to center and turn the fingertips back to a neutral tabletop. Okay, now one at a time, we're gonna take the right hand first, the top of the right hand on the mat, the fingertips pointing towards us, okay? And then either stay here or sink those hips back a little bit. I always say if you type a lot, if you're right-handed, you'll probably feel this one. And then go ahead and come back up to center and flip it around. We'll do the other one. So the very top of the left hand on the mat, fingertips pointing towards you, either stay here or sink the hips back. And then bring it back to center and flip it. And then come on back, sit on your knees, on your heels. A couple options here. You can just sit for a moment on your heels. You can do the toe crunching version, which I can only do for a second, where you curl your toes and sit back. My right toe doesn't fully bend, so I can only do this for so long. So whichever one, just for a quick rest here. And then let's come on out of it and just come down to your bottoms. Okay. My least favorite pose, we're gonna do reverse tabletop. I keep trying to figure out what it is I don't like about it. It's a lot of people don't like it because of shoulder rotation. It's not the shoulders for me, it's the exposed neck. I don't like that. It feels very vulnerable, and it's taken me a while to kind of figure out that that's what it is I don't like about this pose. It's the same reason I don't like camel. But one thing we've talked about in this class lots of times is if you don't like doing something, that's all the more reason to keep on doing it. We got to break that down, right? So reverse tabletop time, whether you love it or hate it, okay? So in reverse tabletop, let's see, fingers pointing away from us. I had to really think about that one. Okay, so knees are bent, feet are stamped down. Sometimes you have to play with the first one to get all the alignment, because the goal is, you know, in tabletop, it's knees over ankles, shoulders over wrists. So we have to play with it a little bit to get that in the reverse, okay? And so we have our fingertips pointing away from us, about, I don't know, 1.5 foot away from the bottom. And then let's just start by pressing through the feet, engaging through the abs, and then slowly lifting the pelvis up. And the goal being to have those knees over your ankle, shoulders over your wrist. I think mine are back a little bit too far. And then you look up at the ceiling if you can. And then come back. I have it the wrong way. It's supposed to be fingers this way. I think I had us wrong. Fingers supposed to be pointing towards your bottom, guys. Sorry about that. Sorry. Okay, come on down. Adjust your hands as you need to. I apologize. Fingertips are supposed to be pointing towards your bottom. That didn't feel right. Okay, fingertips pointing towards your bottom. Press down through the feet. Engage up through the abs. Lift the pelvis up. Aiming for a nice straight line here. Really squeezing those thighs together, engaging through the glutes. Maybe looking right up at the ceiling. And then bringing it down. Okay. And if that wasn't comfortable either, you know, you can always have your fingertips pointing out to the side and then work their way in. So listen to your body. If you want to take a reverse plank, you're welcome to take the full reverse plank, either taking your legs out straight first and pressing it up, or walking your feet out from the table. I'm going to stick with reverse tabletop, okay? So we're going to do one more here. Press through the feet, engage through the abs, and lift the pelvis up. Either hanging out here, reverse table, or maybe straightening your legs all the way out for a reverse plank. And then bring it back down. And sit up straight and shake out the wrists. This is actually a really great wrist stretch too. All right, grab a sip of water if you need it. I'm running out of time. Whenever you're ready, meet in downward facing dog. Walk out your dog a little bit, stretch it out. Maybe bend one knee, straighten the other, as quickly or as slowly as it works for you. Press through those knuckles, drag the finger pads towards the top of the mat, try to take all the pressure off the wrist. Put a slight bend in your knees, come up onto your tippy toes, point your hips up towards the sky, and then straighten the knees, driving the heels back down towards the earth, leaving the hips up nice and tall. All right, we're gonna step forward into a malasana squat. So nice and slow, start to walk your feet forward, but instead of coming into a normal forward fold, take your feet to the outsides of your mat, outside edges, and bend through your knees. All right, so this is where if you need a block to sit on, you're welcome to grab something here, or if you can, we're gonna meet right here, Malasana, either on your toes or heels all the way down, if you can get them there. All right, if you're in full Malasana, our elbows are in our knees, then try to take the crown of the head up towards the sky and the shoulders on your back. Trust me, your hips will thank me later, I promise. All right, and then take your hands down and straighten through into a wide-legged forward fold. And then press your feet and let's rise all the way up. And bring your hands to heart center and bring it in together. All right, let's see here. High lunge. Do we want to balance into it or vinyasa into it? No takers? Vinyasa? All right, we're gonna vinyasa in. We want to work those shoulders as much as possible. And apparently we don't like balance. All right, let's inhale, reach it up. And exhale, forward fold. It's all the more reason to work on it. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, plant your hands, step back, either downward facing dog or plank. If you're in plank, go ahead and take your vinyasa, chaturanga dandasana. Inhaling, cobra or up dog. And exhale, we'll meet everybody in downward facing dog. All right, lift the right toes up, and we're gonna send that foot forward, plant it down on the mat in between your thumbs, however you need to get there. Like I said, we're gonna do high lunge, so get your foundation however you need to, and we'll all meet in that high lunge. Okay, so you remember that prayer twist we did either the open arm or the prayer twist last time on a low lunge. So take your right hand to your hip this time. Inhale, reach it up, and then exhale, take the left hand forward. You're welcome to stay here or bend that elbow, place it behind the right knee, use it as leverage to twist the torso, and then find that prayer twist. You can also stay extended up towards the sky, taking that open arm twist option. All right, release the twist, reach it back up, high lunge. And then spin your back foot flat, find that warrior two again. Take a moment to tidy up your warrior. Knee in line over the ankle, pull back through the left hip. All right, flip the palm and reverse your warrior. In this reverse warrior, straighten your front leg, reverse triangle. Keep that leg straight, bring your arms back through. We're gonna come in a triangle pose here. So take a breath in as you reach towards the top of the mat. And then on your exhale, sweep that right hand down towards the mat, reach the left arm up. 12 o'clock and 6 o'clock. Keep pressing through the back of the left foot and reaching up through the left fingertips. Reach those left fingertips, reach the right fingertips off of the block, the leg, and come back up and bend back through warrior two. All right, this time flip both palms to face the sky. Reach your left arm up and then over your ear towards the top of the mat, reaching for that same block we were holding on at the beginning of class. Keep squeezing it here and then pull it all the way up towards the sky. Keep squeezing it and then take it towards the back of your mat. Bring it back to center and open up warrior two. All right, windmill the hands, frame the foot, step back, downward facing dog. Walk it out. And then when you're ready, take those left toes up and then bring the left foot forward, plant it between the thumbs. Find your high lunge. All right, again, the options here are that open arm twist, or take the left hand to your waist, reach up through the right, and then reach towards the top of the mat, bend the right elbow, place it to the outside of the left knee, use it as leverage, turn that torso as much as you can, and then place the left hand on top of the right. Keep on twisting. Don't forget to press up through the right quad and back to the right heel. And then slowly release the twist. Ooh. Reach it up. All right, warrior two. Back foot is flat. Pull back to the right hip. Find your warrior. Virabhadrasana two. Flip the palm and then reverse your warrior. And then straighten through that left leg, reverse triangle. And then open the arms up. Take a breath in as you reach towards the top of your mat. Exhale, sweep that arm down. Reach the right arm up. Maybe send your gaze up towards the right fingertips. All right, using that side body, keep reaching up through the right fingertips, lift the left fingertips up, and open your arms back up. Bend back through that knee. Flip both palms to face the sky. Reach the left fingertips towards the top of the mat. Reach your right hand up and then over your ear. Use your mantra. Pull it up towards the sky and then pull both arms back towards the back of your mat. Back to center. One last Virabhadrasana 2. And then go ahead, frame your foot and step back, downward facing dog. And come on down to your knees. Okay, so you can sit back, take a water break. So we're working, oh gosh, we really got to get going here. Okay, last pose, we're gonna work on dolphin. Dolphin, again, was one of those poses I really disliked for a long time because it's a lot on the shoulders. The more you do it, the stronger your shoulders get, the more empowering it becomes. It's a great prep for headstands and forearm balances for later on in your practice. Shoulders are the key. So in class, we think about when we're standing upright, we're always pulling our shoulders down our back. So it gets confusing in the head when you're upside down. So I want you to change your mindset. When we're upside down, think about taking the shoulders towards the sky, okay? So I'm gonna show you real quick. What we do is we come onto our forearms, press the palms down into the mat. Some people like to do it with their hands clasped. I like to always teach it first, palms down. So just play with it. Palms down, elbows in line over the shoulders, and then we lift ourselves up so it's like a downward facing dog on our forearms. But so look at the difference between my shoulders. There's this and there's this. Okay, this is what we want. When you're dumping in, that's putting a ton of pressure on. So take those shoulders up towards the sky, keep pressing through the palms, pull your belly button in, and then we walk our feet in as much as you can. Keep on pressing through the shoulders. And then we walk it back whenever you've had enough, okay? It's a lot on the shoulders. It's fun though. Okay, so tabletop. Come onto your forearms, please. Okay, press through the palms. Pull up through the abs, curl your back toes, and then raise your hips up. Before you do anything else, engage the shoulders. Press the elbows into the mat, press the palms into the mat, keep the shoulders up towards the sky. And then walk your feet in as much as you can. Take a look back towards your toes. Keep pressing through the shoulders. And whenever you've had enough, come on down. Okay, we'll try it a second time. If you had it with the palms down, try it this time with the clasp. And you'll start to see which is more comfortable for you. I also actually like to do it holding onto a block because it engages a little bit. So whatever works for you, just try something different than you did last time. And then you'll start to discover if you like it or not. If you have the clasp, the key is to press down to the wrists. Actually lift your fingers up a little bit as you press through the wrists and then gently place the fingers back down, still keeping that pressure on your wrist, okay? And then curl the toes, send the hips up, engage the shoulders, press the shoulders up towards the sky. Keep everything you're doing as you walk your feet in. Hold it as long as you want and then come on out of it. Come into a child's pose when you're done. It's a really hard pose. Once you find comfort in that pose, then it's like, it's really good timing to start practicing headstands and forearm balances and some of the more advanced postures, because like it's really, there's so much of that shoulder strength and core strength is what makes headstands and handstands and arm balance or forearm balances possible. Okay, well, come on up, swing around onto your bottoms, grab a sip of water if you need it. Not leaving us a whole heck of a lot of time for cool down. I apologize. I even skipped like a whole section of abs. I mean, come on, guys. All right, bring your legs out in front. Move that flesh away. Take a manual rotation of the thighs. Flex your feet, pull your toes towards your knees, and sit up really tall, all the way from the sit bones to the crown of the head, reaching up towards the sky, and take those shoulders on your back, press through your thighs. Inhale, reach your arms all the way up. Keep all that engagement as you exhale, reach towards the top of your mat, and then release the hands down wherever they land. It doesn't matter if it's your knees, your calves, your feet. If you're super flexed, you can put a block in front of your feet. Inhale for length towards your toes, and then exhale, sink the stomach down towards the thighs. All right, and then walk the hands up, and then let's come down onto your backs. Oops, I just turned lights on, not off. Pull your knees in your chest, rock from side to side. All right, hold on to that right knee, let your left leg go long. Take your left hand, wrap it around the right knee, let your left arm go long on the mat, and then on your next exhale, pull the right knee over to your left side, leaving both shoulders pinned down onto the mat. Maybe send your gaze over towards that right hand, but only twist as far as you can, leaving that right shoulder on the mat. All right, release the twist, come back up to the center, pull your left knee in to meet your right, hold on to the left knee, let your right leg go long. Go ahead and wrap the right hand around the left knee, let your left arm go long on the mat, and take that twist over to the right, maybe sending your gaze to the left. And then bring it back to center and pull both knees in. I want to do a quick supine cow face legs. So bring your legs up towards the sky. Okay, and then cross your right knee on top of your left. And then bend your legs and bring your hands to your shins. And then slide your hands down your shins, trying to grab for your ankles or your feet. So you're pulling your feet. So you should be, I don't know if you can see me. Yeah, you can see me online. So you should probably be feeling this in your right hip. And if this is super uncomfortable, just go ahead and take a happy baby or a half happy baby. All right, go ahead and release this. Take both legs all the way back up towards the sky, and then cross your left knee on top of your right. Bend through both knees, take your hands to your shins, slide your hands down your shins towards your ankles or your feet, pull your feet towards your body. Feeling a stretch in the opposite hip. And then go ahead and release that and find your final resting pose or Shavasana. Whether it's constructive rest with your knees together, maybe letting both legs go long on the mat, maybe it's Baddha Konasana, or if you want to simply sit in meditation. Wherever you are, let it be comfortable enough that you can start to let go of all the muscular energy you're still holding on to. Release the tension in your forehead and unclench the jaw. Start to bring awareness back into your body and into your mind. Deepen your breath. Maybe make some small movements, wiggling the fingers and the toes, the wrists and the ankles. Take a nice big stretch with your arms overhead, feet towards the top of the mat. And whenever you're ready, pull your knees into your chest for a nice big hug in. And then gently roll to one side using your arm as pillow. Take this moment to repeat your mantra. Feel it in your heart, feel it in your breath, feel it in your body. And gently press yourself up to a seated position. Eyes closed, hands to your heart center. Mantras are designed to liberate us from the fear and illusion that keeps us small, allowing us to manifest our fully realized potential. The poet Andrea Gibson writes, "I don't believe in miracles because miracles are the impossible coming true, and everything is possible." Thank you for sharing your Sunday morning practice with all of us here today. I hope that you feel better leaving the mat than when you came on. I hope that you can take this mantra and the sense of peace and empowerment with you throughout the rest of your day. The light and love in me honors the light and love in each and every one of you. Namaste. Thank you guys so much. Really appreciate it all. Thank you to everyone online. We do have later on today, if you want more, we do have Gabriel Halpern online again this afternoon and next Sunday as well. He's a really interesting man. He's practiced yoga his whole life. He's a true yogi, studied in India. This is everything he is. He's basically spends the workshop yelling at us, but he's yelling words of like wisdom and light and love. So it's just really interesting. I mean, he's not like really yelling, but like he's got a very funny, interesting point of view, but it all is just like these beautiful like spouts of like poetry and philosophy and stories that are very amusing and enlightening at the same time. And then today's focus is going to be on a calming yoga practice. So it won't be like what we did today. It'll be more to calm the body and to calm the mind. So we do have that online. And then in October, we do have some meditation workshops too. If you are interested in finding a little bit of peace inside a little bit, Susan Short is going to teach us the best ways to meditate and find that peace. So check it out online. So if anyone has any questions online, please feel free to yell them out or to email me later. Thank you guys so much.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Thanks. Have a
Thank
good
you, Susan.
Thank you very much, Susan.
Thank you guys. Always a pleasure.
Bye.